Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey, and here let's check out the top new games made with Unity for June 2021. There's tons of awesome games this month, almost all of them with thousands of extremely positive reviews. So on the one hand, it's awesome, you've got tons of great games to play, but on the other hand, if you're an indie game developer, then this is your very tough competition. So if you really want to be a successful indie game developer, you really need to bring your A game. All these games are uniquely impressive and they showcase the power of the engine in tons of different scenarios, so the list is in no particular order, except for the number one game that is my personal pick of the month. Easily build games with this video's sponsor, Core. Core is a free game creation platform that lets you build and publish your games. It is great for very quickly and very easily prototyping any ideas you have, and it is especially easy to build multiplayer games since all of the complicated networking parts are all handled automatically. You have thousands of free high-quality sound and art assets to build your game, you can build entire games without code, or if you want to take it further, you can write your own custom game logic using Lua. Once you have your game built, you just click a button and it's instantly available for anyone to play. Also, Core is having an exciting event this week. It's a collaboration with deadmau5 featuring a $50,000 prize pool and some very special prizes like a lifetime pass and a meet and greet. It ends in just 1 week, so go ahead, click the link in the description for a chance to be featured in deadmau5's next music video. Now, before I actually cover the list, let me start off with an honorable mention. Here is probably the most popular game this month, Muck. Normally, I don't cover free-to-play games on these lists, but this is such a huge hit that I really can't ignore it. As of right now, it has 40,000 insanely positive reviews, which means around 2 million players. That's insane. This is made by Denny, who has a huge following on YouTube. It's a survival roguelike game, where you collect resources, find items, build a base and survive. So it's a pretty simple gameplay loop, but it's coupled with some really charming visuals, a bunch of multiplayer and some very polished effects. And again, it's completely free, so very impressive. Alright, so starting off for real at number 10 with this really unique game, Operation Tango. It's a 2-player co-op spy adventure game. The really unique thing is how each player has a completely different experience. So one player plays as the agent, roaming around the level, completing objectives in first person, while the other player plays as the hacker, which can interact with the level and do things like override the elevator controls, find access codes, and a bunch more. The tricky thing is they can only communicate with voice. So the hacker needs to give the correct instructions to the agent for both of them to succeed the mission. As always, any game that requires constant communication like this is bound to generate a lot of hilarious moments, so it's one of those that it's guaranteed to be a great time with friends. It's also got a great visual style, I really like it, makes me think of Austin Powers. Oh, and also the game has a really awesome friend pass, so only one person needs to own the game and both of you can play. And on top of that, there's also crossplay enabled, so all in all, very awesome. Then we have Going Medieval. It's a medieval colony building sim game. Construct your fortress and keep it safe from raids. Also keep your villagers nice, happy and fed. The game takes place in the 14th century, just after the plague has decimated 95% of the population, so over time the survivors come out and it's up to you to give them a great future. You start off small with a small wooden hut and use the intuitive 3D terrain tool in order to build your massive multi-story fort. Harvest some resources, hunt a bunch of animals, and stay safe from the elements. Set up your guard posts and defend from the raiders when they come. It just came out in early access this month, but already has over 4,000 very positive reviews. It seems this is one of the biggest hits this month. They also have a very detailed roadmap in the store page. It includes tons of features like trading, a prisoner system, raiding some other settlements, animal husbandry, and much more. So this seems like a great start, and it will be even better 1 year from now. Then if you want something really satisfying, here is LEGO Builder's Journey. It's an official LEGO game, and the thing that jumps out immediately is just how good it looks. It really looks like real Legos, it's got some gorgeous lighting and all of the pieces look perfect. It's all of it thanks to some awesome ray traced rendering. Unity has been partnering with LEGO for a bunch of things, so I wonder if we'll see this one more in some future Unite conferences. The game itself is a puzzle game. You must use the LEGO pieces to move your character and reach the end of the level. According to the reviews, it seems pretty short, but if you want to just enjoy looking at some gorgeous LEGO, then this is the perfect game. And if you like driving sideways, then check out Drift 21. It features drifting the car in some awesome tracks, and then it also has a very elaborate tuning system. You can really build just about any part of the car exactly as you wanted. Lift your car up and change the suspension, change the brake pads, fit some tires, and get to burning rubber. You can select from over 1900 unique parts to really tune your car to perfection. Features tons of modes, both in single player and multiplayer. You can play in career mode, sandbox, time attack, gymkhana, or stick with the garage and do a bunch of garage challenges. Also features some real licensed cars, so you can play around with your favorites from real life. I love drifting in car games, but I've never played a dedicated drifting game, so I might give this one a shot. By the way, if you find the video helpful, please hit the like button. It's a tiny thing, but it really does help. Thanks. Next up we have Slipways. It's a sci-fi strategy game. You start off with a bunch of planets and you connect them together in order to build a vast trading empire. Combine unique worlds with some interesting tech in order to keep that trade income constantly flowing. Research some new tech and use wormholes to traverse this universe. It's a purely economical game, there's no combat, so it's all about making the right decisions in a relaxing but engaging experience. There's no need for war with so much empty universe to claim. Every action has immediate consequences, so there's no busy work waiting for ships to be built, you just place down trade routes and watch the money roll in. The game is very well polished with tons of flashy effects on every action, making it all extremely satisfying. So all in all, it seems they thought very hard about making a very unique design, and based on the very positive reviews, I would say they succeeded. Then if you're looking for some VR, here is Eternal Starlight VR. It's an interesting strategy game. Being in VR, you essentially have a whole view of the battlefield, and then you can zoom in to experience the conflict from any scale. So you zoom out to see the whole conflict, or zoom all the way in to see each individual ship component. Manage and customize your ships and give them the correct equipment for the battle ahead, make some good decisions and lead your fleet to victory by telling them where to go and who to attack. Also features an intuitive locomotion system, you can move freely through space just by grabbing it. Supports playing seated, standing or in full room scale. Up next we have Spellcaster University. It's an interesting management game where you run a prestigious university of mages. So you build a bunch of rooms, you train your students, fight orcs, slay the bureaucrats, and manage the budget. You must handle the well-being of your students by building a good university, push them towards a glorious future, and win some new bonuses. Then you go out on quests and fight off monsters using all of your abilities. It uses a dex system to define what type of magic your university will teach. So you can choose to teach some black magic with necromancy and demonology, or make it nice and harmonious with a bunch of druids and shamans. It seems like an interesting system, mixing a sort of deck builder with a management game. It's got a lot of very positive reviews, especially for what seems like a somewhat niche game, management with mages, so it must be really good. For a gorgeous side-scrolling game, there's Until We Die. Build your base, equip your crew, and go down into the mines. It feels simultaneously old school with its visuals, but with some modern gameplay. You play as Ivan the commander and lead your units to battle. They're not very smart, so it's up to you to tell them what to do in this nice mix of action and strategy. Make sure you build some strong fortifications and research better tech to keep the enemy onslaught at bay. The clock is ticking, you must survive for 30 days against an ever-increasing wave of enemy attacks. Up next, if you like some massive chaos, here is Geometry Arena. It's just mountains and mountains of flashing lights and projectiles everywhere. The visuals are very minimalist, the store page even says you play as a shape and you fight other shapes. It's got an emphasis on building massively overpowered character, also features some roguelike elements. You can mix and match mod upgrades and experiment with a limitless rune upgrade system. I must say that personally I'm not usually a fan of bullet hell games, I always just suck at them, but this one has over 1,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews, so I just couldn't ignore it. It's 97% positive, which makes it one of the best rated games on Steam, so it's not my genre, but if you're into bullet hells then definitely give this one a shot. And lastly, for something a bit more dark and gritty, here is my personal pick of the month, The Last Spell. I love the look on this one, really high quality pixel art, the UI especially looks gorgeous, it's a really nice mix of tons of genres. So you've got turn-based combat, you've got a bunch of city building, then some strategy defense, some roguelike elements for replayability, and tons of RPG stats. You exterminate some fiendish monsters using magic and brute force by night, and then rebuild your defenses during the day. It seems like a really interesting combo of mechanics. I especially like the turn-based defense combat. Usually in defense games like They Are Billions, I end up getting really stressed out and totally overwhelmed when there's a massive amount of enemies. So by making it turn-based and having some time to think might just be the perfect thing that I need. Alright, so that's 10 awesome new games made with Unity and launched in June 2021. If you want to be a successful indie game developer, you definitely need to keep an eye on the current state of your competition. I make these videos once a month so I can keep up to date with what's coming out, and you should too. Also, don't forget the core event with deadmau5, win some awesome prizes from a $50,000 prize pool. Use the links in the description to download core for free and learn more about the event. Alright, hope that's useful. Check out these videos to learn some more. Thanks to these awesome Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.